From ancient times, cats had their own special place on the ships. The main reason was the presence of rodents in them. These annoying little animals caused damage to the ropes, the deck, and, more recently, to the ship's electrical cables. In addition, they damaged supplies by eating food intended for the crew, but also caused financial damage to shipments, such as wheat. There was also a danger to the hygiene of sailors, since rodents were carriers of diseases, with the most typical example being the bubonic plague, that was transmitted through their fleas. Cats, as natural hunters, were recruited to exterminate these unwanted invaders. However, the protection of the ship was not limited to hunting rodents. The sailors believed that cats brought good luck to the ship and protected it from bad weather. In fact, it was considered a catastrophic event if the cat fell or was thrown into the water, because then, a terrible storm would break out that would sink the ship, but even if it survived, it would be cursed with 9 years of misfortune. Regardless of the precautions, cats can indeed predict storms, as they can feel the slightest change in the weather, thanks to their very sensitive inner ears. Low atmospheric pressure, a harbinger of a storm, made the cats nervous and anxious, because of their dislike for water. Thus, sailors could understand the impending storm by observing the change in the cat's behavior. Finally, cats provided company to the crew, which for many consecutive months or even years was at sea, away from home and family. This tradition continued in modern eras, not only on merchant ships, but also on warships. During World War II, the German battleship Bismarck, along with the heavy cruiser Prinz Eugen, set sail for the Atlantic Ocean on May 18, 1941, as part of Operation Regenboog, with the mission of attacking British convoys. However, very soon, the two ships were spotted by the British, who tried to stop them. On May 24, the two German warships clashed with two British warships, the Hood and the Prince of Wales. In the ensuing naval battle, Hood was destroyed and sunk, while the other British warship retreated with damage. However, Bismarck was hit in the fuel tanks and was forced to abandon its mission and return to the nearest Allied port, Brest, in occupied France. The British were determined not to let it escape, and sent all their available warships in pursuit of the German battleship. Eventually, the pursuit was successful, and on May 27, Bismarck sank. Of Bismarck's 2,100 men, only 115 survived. However, there was one more survivor. The crew of the British destroyer Cossack found a black and white cat floating on a beam, and rescued him. The British did not know his real name, so they named him Oscar. Oscar came from the letter O of the International Code of Signals, which means, man overboard. Cossack operated in the Mediterranean and the North Atlantic, for convoy protection. During one such mission, on October 23, 1941, Cossack was hit by the German submarine U-563 near Gibraltar, and was immobilized. 2 days later, a tugboat was sent to move it to a safe port, but, due to bad weather, it failed, and Cossack sank on October 27, taking along 159 members of its crew. Oscar and the rest of the crew managed to escape and return to Gibraltar. After surviving 2 shipwrecks, the British began calling the cat, Unsinkable Sam. After Gibraltar, Sam was transferred to the British aircraft carrier Ark Royal, which had played a key role in the pursuit and sinking of Bismarck. In fact, it had slipped past the disaster several times and was considered a lucky ship. Ark Royal's mission was to transport equipment and supplies to Malta, the most important British base in the Mediterranean. On November 13, during its return from Malta, Ark Royal was hit by a torpedo from the German submarine U-81. The next morning, despite British efforts to save it, the aircraft carrier sank. Sam was found floating on a plank, angry but safe. The loss of the aircraft carrier marked the end of the cat's naval career, who was transferred to the office of the governor of Gibraltar. The misfortune of the ships that hosted Sam did not stop there. The destroyer Legion, which saved Sam from the second shipwreck, sank in the port of Malta in March 1942, while the destroyer Lightning, which saved him from the third shipwreck, sank a year later, in March 1943, off the coast of Tunisia. After the end of the war, Sam was sent to the city of Belfast in Northern Ireland. It was the last time he would board a ship. Sam spent the rest of his life at the Belfast Home for Sailors, where he died in 1955. This was the adventurous story of our cat, who managed to survive 3 shipwrecks in a 6-month period. Unfortunately, no photograph of him has survived, and his only depiction is a painting by the artist Georgina Shaw Baker, at the National Maritime Museum in Greenwich, London. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, write a comment, and subscribe to the channel for more stories. Thanks for watching and see you next time.